last line now of defence that a user's mobile device is. So what we mean by that is that's got anti-malware on it. It's a whole range of threats, so you know it was probably antivirus or the term antivirus. But there's actually, so a virus is just one category. Malware is a whole sort of plethora. There are Trojans, worms, bots, ransomware, and what anti-malware does is protect against all that range. There is traditional anti-malware, which is basically signature-based. They don't have sort of time to go into it, but it looks for patterns of code, basically protects against that. More advanced anti-malware solutions will actually look at zero-day attacks. What they do is they recognise it through a pattern of all sorts of things like heuristics, and they will then sandbox what they think is a threat, analyse what they want it to do. And that's quite key, because if you're working in high-risk industries such as banking or parts of central government, police, MOD, you may actually be targeted by cyber criminals wanting to infect you to get access to machines and to breach systems. And that malware has never been seen before, so it doesn't have a signature. So like I say, there's a lot of anti-malware, antivirus providers now putting zero-day solutions into their system, either for free or it's a chargeable extra. The other thing that endpoint comes with is a firewall. Windows does do one, but generally, again, anything that you buy that's commercial is probably at a higher level. It also comes with hard drive encryption. So if you lose your laptop on the train, or it gets stolen, but all the data on the hard drive is encrypted and protected. They've got basically a physical machine, but it's viewed that the data is obviously more important. USB control, so you can decide whether you want users to be able to access your USBs. If they do access the USB and take data away on a USB stick, whether that's encrypted, whether they can share it with other machines or not. All of these kind of like granular controls that we built into endpoint. And VPN. So this may be part of the endpoint solution, virtual private network, because that's encrypted data backwards and forwards, or it may be something that is provided by the firewall provider, and it's a little piece of software that goes onto the endpoint. So that's the endpoint from looking at it from a vulnerability point of view, from malicious code, or people sending you something through that's going to infect you. The other issue with the endpoint being outside of the corporate network, and also this relates back to digital transformation, is that historically inside the network, once you'd logged on, you would then have access to all of the services such as email, CRM, accounts, etc. that you can get within in the local network. Once you take things and put them into the cloud, you can have access to all of them, but it's done via password. So password security becomes quite an issue. And one of the important factors is that you've here got 4 different systems to connect to, 4 different passwords. Actually, in reality, with the rise of digital transformation, cloud applications, you've probably got a whole load of different systems that need to be connected to. So just here, I've been talking a lot about the account system, the email, the CRM, whatever the organisation may put in Azure, AWS, and Google. But also there's probably a HR system, either for managers or for people wanting to book holiday, probably online storage, apps like LinkedIn have got a lot more functionality now. You also may have a supplier's portal or connected to supplier systems. And so you've got to manage all these passwords, the end user's got to manage all these passwords. And typically as an end user, what you're going to do is you're going to make it as easy as possible. The end user not thinking with security in mind, just that I've got to here manage 8 different passwords, probably a lot more, it's probably of 15 to 20 when you start thinking of all the different portals, the systems that it's connected to. So Bob's going to make it easy. Bob's probably going to say, well, you know what, I'm going to keep my password pretty simple, which is absolutely great for anybody that wants to steal credentials out there on the internet, because if they can get hold of access to the systems and get Bob's username, which is quite easy from social media, they can then quite easily work out the password and get access, let's say the email. So he keeps his passwords being identical for everything. They then got access to all of Bob's systems that he's connected to in the cloud, and obviously, therefore, his data's breached. That breaches, the data of the whole of the organisation. So and just to mention, if you are then connected to suppliers or third parties, if Bob's machine's breached and the password is easy to crack, they can get into that supplier portal and then they can start working with that organisation, which kind of raises a whole new sort of more different conversation going down of supply chain, cyber security, and actually making sure that the supply chain is protected. A lot of suppliers now, if you're dealing with a big supplier, will actually audit you and make sure that if you're connected to their systems, that your systems are secure as well. So that's another.
Matthew, just a quick question. So where does single sign-on come into this scenario you've just described?
So that's exactly what I'm just about to do. Yeah, right on cue. So the way that you manage all of these different passwords is you have something called an identity access management solution, and that basically, if I just actually what it does is it puts the password into all the passwords, for all of the different applications into one easy to manage solution that the user will log into. So what the user does is the user logs into that one solution, which is secure. That solution in turn ensures that all of the passwords for all of the different applications are one, that they're long. There might be 50 to 250 characters, all completely randomized, and just regular password cycling. So it makes sure that those passwords are either updated, they can be down to hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever you want it to be, but the passwords are changed on a regular basis. So they're very long passwords, very complicated passwords. They're regularly changed to keep those systems extremely secure. And then what they also do, for the one login, which is the weak point, to get into all of that password management, that password management system is called management.